Well, good morning, magandang umaga, and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today is Monday. It's the beginning of the work week for most, and it's the day after Fiesta. And for me, it's just any other day, because remember, I am retired here at Villa Feliz. But even though I'm retired, there's still chores that have to be done, and I have many projects that are ongoing and need to be worked on. One of the projects today is going to be this area right here. I need to get started on something. We'll talk about that right after the intro. We also have a storm that's heading our way, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit as well. And I want to take advantage while it's still dry right here to go ahead and do some work here around the yard. Well, without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Now, before we get started in today's episode, knee deep, so to speak, which is we're probably going to go about knee deep in a hole over here by the cistern. But before we get started, you'll notice that I started the intro of today's episode after the intro credits. I showed you pictures of some of the citrus plants that are growing around here. Notice that we have some blossoms. Notice that we have a calamansi that is full of calamansi that is ready to be picked. Now, I am new to these kind of plants and fruit trees, so I don't really know what the cycle is for a lot of them. I remember last year, things like the rambutan and the jackfruit. The folks in the barangay, they would tell me when each one of the fruits are ready to be harvested, when they were mature and ready to be harvested. And there's a portion of the year where it does nothing. You don't see anything on there hardly at all. But the backyard here is alive and well. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to archive some of these videos, some of the pictures of some of the plants so we can watch the evolution of a lot of the plants that are growing in the backyard. Now this is the dwarf mango right here. It's very healthy, but I need to get a bamboo pole or a stick to go inside the ground for support on this. We'll probably do that maybe later on this afternoon. Now this calamansi is actually ready for picking. We can pick some of the plants off here. I don't know, for those of you who have calamansi plants, calamansi trees, let me know, do they grow calamansi all year round? I don't know. We'll find out here pretty soon, and maybe with some help from you all. And also, you see the blossoms on the lemon tree. Now if you remember, this lemon tree used to live back over there where the ficus is. And we bared 2 lemons off of this tree right here, but this time we have lots of lemon blossoms. We'll see how it'll do over here. It's doing well. We're getting some new growth, and we got lots of blossoms. And this is a shady, sunny area right here, so maybe a little bit different of a sun environment right here is helping this guy out. And one more little advancement before we get started today. Remember, this is our cacao tree. This is the one that's going to produce cocoa, and it's chocolate. But I thought it was dead. I thought this tree was dead. But remember, sometimes nature can be deceiving. So this tree right here is actually starting to grow. I want you to see, and I think I showed it on the intro, but you see the little buds right here? So what I thought was dead is not dead. Anyway, Ness came back here and scratched a little section at one time. She saw the green on there. So this one's coming back to life. Again, this one is growing some leaves, but remember, this is below the graft, so it's probably no fruit going to come off of here. Who knows? But the rest of this, I think we're good. So I think this one's good. I think now the only thing we have to worry about is the nut tree here, the cashew. And I've got my doubts about this one, but we're going to leave it in the ground just a little bit longer and see if it actually does come back up. Now I have green down here in the bottom, but this is below, again, below the graft. So this isn't really going to do us any good. We want to see what happens in this section right here. We'll keep an eye on this one. Now for me, this is the area I'm going to be working on right here. I need to do some digging. I need to have access to the pipe that goes down into the cistern. And then what I'll do is I'll determine what type of couplers that we need to bring it up in this area somewhere over here so that we can hook up. I have to have a filter and I have to have a pump. And then once I get this area fixed, then what we're going to do, we're going to start cutting trenches, and we're going to put down irrigation. We're going to put down irrigation pipes, and we're going to put up some pop-up sprinklers, and we're going to put up just irrigation sprinklers that will stay above ground and sprinkle things like the raised bed garden and stuff like that. The pop-ups are mainly for the backyard and the citrus trees back here in the backyard. So the easy thing that I'm going to be working on this morning, which is the undesirable kind of thing, it's kind of digging to get to pipes and things like that. And it's kind of tough right here. I will tell you right now, it's going to be a little tough inside here because my builder, when he did the plumbing, he's got pipes on top of pipes, and it's going to be a mess. But you know what? It's a challenge, and I'm up to the challenge. So let me go ahead and get started on some digging right now. Okay, now that wasn't too bad. That didn't take too long. And what we're going to call this stage, we're going to call this the exploration stage because we have an unknown. I wasn't sure, or I couldn't remember senior. I couldn't remember what we had down inside the ground right here. And it's not as bad as I thought it was. Now we're going to have to make some decisions. Let me show you. I cleaned it up. Normally you don't have to clean it up like I did, but I sprayed it off so you can see the pipes and you can see all the connections here. All right, so what you see here, you see this big pipe, this big PVC pipe here. The big PVC pipe, it's just an empty pipe, and it goes to this opening right here. And that's if we want to put a pump that's a submergible pump down in the bottom of the cistern to pump from the bottom, pump up. That's an option. I wanted to make sure we had that option in place, so I had my builder put that in place as well. Then we have the small, you see the small PVC? Maybe I can get a picture from this other side over here. So you see this PVC right here. Now that's the electrical. That's the electrical that goes down through the ground where the fill pipe is and goes to the back of the house and goes down to the breaker box. And that comes up to this outlet right here. And this outlet is going to allow us to have electricity for the pump that we have back here. Plus the irrigation system. We're going to need some place to hook up the irrigation system. Now this PVC, or this is actually the PPR pipe. You see this small PPR pipe right here that goes up here. Well, it comes from down there, and that comes from the street, and it comes up here to a valve, and then this is a fill. This is a fill for the cistern. So if I turn this on right here, it'll allow water this way, and it will go inside the cistern and fill the cistern if we have a dry season. So I have reserve water inside there. Also, if for some reason there's a problem with pressure, I can use the pressure from my own pump right here. Now there is also, you see this little access point right here, this T-junction. This T-junction is for a hose. If I want to put a hose on the side, just like I have the hose right there, it goes to the back of the house, I can have a hose here for whatever I want to do. If I want to use it in the raised bed garden, but we'll have sprinklers inside here at one point. Now this 1-inch PPR pipe here, we can put the pump on the top, or we can do the pump down underwater. We can do a submergible pump. We have to make a decision. I need to talk to some experts about that to find out what's the best method to do, to push water or to pull water. We'll find out about that later on. Now, since our exploration is done and we have access to the pipes, we have to come up with a plan. But before we come up with a plan, I'm going to clean up this area right here. This little piece of plastic right here, this was the plastic that my plumber, aka my contractor, put on the end of the 1-inch PPR pipe right there to keep debris from getting inside. Well, as you can see, it's deteriorated and it fell apart and there was debris inside, so I'm going to have to clean out that pipe. Normally what a plumber, if you have a real plumber, what they'll do, they'll put a connector on the end of it and it will close up on it. What they'll do, they won't fusion weld it, or in the US they won't put PVC cement pipe on there. What they'll do, they'll leave it loose because all it's doing is just keeping debris and insects and everything from getting inside the pipe. Then you just slide it off, then you make your connections later on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean this up. The full wheelbarrow of soil, that is really good soil. As I'm pulling out, I'm looking on, this is really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to use it and I'm going to spread it to some areas around the yard that needs some topper so that the grass will get thick, and it has to do with stepping on the grass. One thing about bluegrass is a beautiful grass. As you can see, it is a wonderful grass. Not real hard to maintain. Just mow it, a little bit of fertilizer, and that's good. What it is not good for, and it loves lots of water. So during rainy season, it's going to go crazy back here, which means my gardener is going to have to do a lot of mowing. But the only thing it is not good for is foot traffic. So if you have a high foot traffic area, you're going to be doing constant maintenance, which is basically doing topper, telling people stay off of that area, and it will grow back in. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Now you see this area? It's very low. This grass is very, very low right here. Where on the other hand, you see the grass over here is rich and thick, and I just cut it yesterday. It was really high, and I cut it down to the length that I like it. This is where my gardener walks through here every single day. Him and Hapone. Hapone likes, this is his running trail right here. You can see right down the center. This is so low here, where on both sides, if they walked over here, well, eventually this would get down like this also. But they should alternate. Of course, I can ask my gardener to alternate, but I'm not sure if Hapone would really understand the term alternate running areas. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to put a little bit of topper from what we just extracted out of that hole over there on this area right here, maybe a little bit back here, and I think that's probably all I'll be able to do. And any other area that needs a little bit of topper as well. This has all the earmarks of Hapone. Hey, did you do this? Did you make all these paw prints up here? Are you the guilty one? Are you guilty? Are you guilty? You have a guilty look on your face. I know it was him. I caught him earlier. Anyway, I just came back from Wilcon. I went to Wilcon and McKilling in search of the pipes that we need for the irrigation system. I decided to do that ahead of time so I can start planning and laying some stuff out. Now, if you are coming from North America and you're used to PVC irrigation pipes, and you do what I did and buy all those little couplers and little things to connect up your pipe system, pop-up sprinklers and all of that, I will tell you, there's a difference between the standard, the pipe size that they have here in the Philippines, and what we have in North America. And I will tell you, they don't fit together. They don't work. PVC is PVC, so PVC glue would have worked fine. But I think I'm going to have to probably go with one of their full systems with all of their couplers, elbows, tees, everything, because all of the stuff that I ship from the US is not going to work over here. Now that is unless I can find another supplier that has the specifications for pipes that we have in the US, but I don't think it's going to happen because I think they use European standards here. I think that's what most of the suppliers. It doesn't matter whether it's Neltex or it's the folks that do the PPR pipes. It doesn't matter. They're all a different specification. So all that stuff I shipped over from the US probably isn't going to be any good. What I'm going to do tonight, I'm not going to give up yet. I'm going to do some research. I'm going to see if there's something online that will allow me to go from, say, a US North American specification to European specification, basically like a reducer. I have all the couplers and everything, like I said. I just don't have the long pipe, but none of the long pipes that will run around the entire yard will match up with any of my couplers. Well, let me show you what else I picked up. So for those of you who are kind of confused about what I'm talking about right here, this is the coupler. This is the US coupler right here. It's for, I think it's for a 3/4 inch pipe, maybe a 1 inch pipe. I can't remember what I picked out here. Should say it on here, should be a mark. PVC, 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch. So this is for 3/4 inch. Now this isn't a 3/4 inch pipe, but we're going to use it as an example. All the PVC pipes they have up here, of course this is the same size. The next size down from this goes inside, but there's so much room left over, you can't get a good seal. It needs to be nice and tight, so when you put the PVC cement, that it actually fits nice and tight, and the PVC cement will basically fusion this pipe to this right here using cement instead of heat. Now here in the Philippines they use something a little bit different. They use, I think most of the places, for anything that has to do with plumbing, most of them use PPR pipe. And I picked up this because one of the things I have to do is down in the bottom of the cistern. In the bottom of the cistern I need a screen, I need a filter, and I also need a, it's like a check valve, and this has a check valve inside. So when the water is sucked up with the pump, when the pump is turned off, it doesn't backflow back inside. So this has a check valve inside. It has a strainer to keep the debris from going in and clogging up the pump, and we're going to put a filter system anyway. And then we need something to get from here to the PPR pipe, which is one of these couplers right here. We'll put this on here with some Teflon tape, put this on. And then this section right here, we can't use this as an example. Can't even use this. But anyway, imagine the long PPR pipe going inside here. And if you remember from the build, when we did all the plumbing inside the house, we did fusion welding. And that's what this is right here. I picked up a fusion welder. And it has a section that goes in this end, the other section, it goes over the edge of the pipe that goes in. It heats it up, it sort of melts it. You stick them in together, and it fusion welds. It becomes one solid entity at that point. And it's a very good connection. It's a very solid connection. So that's what I picked up. And by the way, this was just a little over, I think it was a little over 4,000 pesos for this item right here. They had a lot more expensive ones, but a lot bigger connectors, which we don't need. We don't need to go up any bigger than what we have inside here. And I'm telling you, it was upward like 14, 20 something thousand or something like that. So this was a good deal. So now we can overcome all the problems. We could change. We won't be able to use any of these if I can't find suitable adapters online. But we can do all either PVC or we can do all PPR pipe for the yard. PPR is kind of overkill. It's kind of expensive, but it's a really good secure system, and I have the PPR welder right here as well. And the biggest challenge we have now, you see this is threaded in the pop-up sprinkler. We need to be able to do either a T or a 90-degree elbow that has something that's threaded like this piece that I had inside of here. This is too big. This won't fit inside there. So basically we need to get something that will go here and connect to PPR if we use PPR pipe. I don't know what actually it goes this way on the bottom side. Now, I don't know if their PPR pipe has the male like this right here that will go inside here. I should have checked that today. I should have brought this along with me when I went to the hardware stores. Maybe tomorrow, we'll see. Well, anyway, we're on hold for that because I can't do anything until I get this solution taken care of. This is the key point right here. So we're on hold for the irrigation. And one thing I can do before anything else, I can actually put this on the pipe that goes all the way into the bottom of the cistern, get that out of the way. We can close the lid and we don't have to worry about this section anymore. That's done. We work from the top all the way through the pop-up sprinklers, the irrigation, everything like that. Now today is going to be a short video. I can't do much more until I get some type of a technical solution for some of these couplers that go to the sprinkler heads and also the valves. Remember the valve controllers that we're using that has a solenoid inside that connects to a controller box where I can select which zone I want to come on. Now I have to make sure that I have the correct fittings for those as well. Silly dog. Well, anyway, we are on hold right now until I can do a little bit more research and possibly take some of my devices down to the hardware store. Remember, we have to get everything that will fit the proper threads, the proper diameter of some of the pipes. Let me see what else. Oh, remember, we have the controllers. Remember the solenoid controllers that hook up to a control box so that you can turn on all the valves. And those also have connectors inside there that are threaded. I have to make sure I can find all of that. So a little premature in trying to get this started today. But what I can do is, like I said, I can go ahead and install this in the bottom of the cistern. Go ahead, finish this. That way I don't have to go back down inside the cistern anymore. That will be done. And the next step is work on everything above ground. I'm not going to do that today. As you can see, it's really, really windy here today. And we are the day before the storm is supposed to be approaching. I think 8 o'clock tonight. If you look at the map that I was showing a little bit earlier, the tracking of the storm, I think around 8 o'clock tonight, it is supposed to be somewhere central in Visayas, if I remember correctly. Anyway, which means is tomorrow we're going to be right in the center of that storm that's coming through here. So I suspect we're probably going to get a lot of rain tomorrow. So tomorrow might be a wash day for any outdoor projects. And I don't know if there's any indoor projects that I want to work on. Maybe cleaning of the basement. So let me go ahead and close out for today. You want to give me a high five? High five. High five. That's my high five boy. So let's go ahead and close out for today. All right, you know, help me close out for today, Hop On? Well, we're going to close out for today, and then hopefully we don't have too bad of a storm tomorrow where we can get something accomplished. Well, if you enjoyed today's video, please give us a pause up. Please share. And if you have not subscribed, just click on that little My PI Dream heart in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. You will be subscribed, and you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video. So until such time, you have a wonderful and blessed day.